side of London, Sri Chaitanya Saraswati morning program. And we will continue our reading of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. But I need to be reminded of where we are and what's going on. So can please someone tell me?
No one can.
Lesson. Okay. Let me see. See if this gives you a clue. Hare Krishna. Remember where this is? Hare Krishna. Okay, well, Shreyesh Prabhu immediately recognized this is Ramuna. We're in Ramuna. And Mahaprabhu is telling the tale he heard from Ishvarapuri, his spiritual master of Madhavendra Puri. And this was Mangalati at Ramuna. Quite noisy, and quite wonderful, and quite chamatkar. And we were fortunate to be there with Madhusudhan Maharaj just recently. Wonderful, wonderful. So we were there, and we'd heard how Madhavendra Puri, we'd heard the whole story. We can't tell it all again, but the boy had come, the mysterious cowherd boy, and given milk, and then he'd had the dream. The boy had taken him by the hand in his dream and said, I am Gopal, and I am in this bush, and I've been there a long time, and my pujari hid me when there was trouble and ran away, and it's too much hot, and it's too much cold. Please, get me out of here. So then, the last verse we read yesterday was text 46. We're in the 4th chapter of the Madhya Leela called Sri Madhavendra Puri's devotional service. If we can remember that tomorrow, that would be wonderful, wouldn't it? If we can at least remember the chapter that we're in. Madhavendra Puri. And the last, so he's woken from his dream, and Madhavendra Puri cried for some time. But then he fixed his mind on his seva, on executing the order of Gopal, doing what Gopal has directly asked him. He was crying because he said, Krishna was in front of me directly, and I did not recognize him. So that's why he's crying. But then he fixed his mind on executing the order of Gopal, and thus he became tranquille. So we're going to start on text 47 of the 4th chapter of the Madhya Leela. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Jaya Gaura Bhaktavinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Jaya Dvaita Jaya Gaura Bhaktavinda. So, it's the next.
Is that before Shirshor Gopinath still the pot of kid?
Yes.
That's before.
Before what?
Before he has this dream of Gopal asking him.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're just beginning the tale. Yes. Yes, he hasn't even, the deity is still in the bush. So, Pratasnana Kari Puri Gramya Madhyagela Sabaloka Ekatcha Kari Kaite La Gila. So after taking his morning bath, Madhavendra Puri entered the village and assembled all the people. Then he spoke as follows. Gramera Ishvara Tomara Govardhanadari Kunjayache Chalatare Bahira Jayakari. He said, the proprietor of this village, Govardhanadari, is lying in the bushes, Let's go there and rescue him from that place. Bahira Jekari, take him out. Atyantani vida kunja nari pravashite. Kutari kodali laha dvara karite. The bushes are very dense and we will not be able to enter the jungle. Therefore take choppers and spades to clear the way. So it was a big job. Shuni lokatara sange chalila harishe. Kunjakati dvarakari karila praveshe. After hearing this, all the people accompanied Madhavendrapuri Puri with great pleasure. According to his directions, they cut down bushes, cleared a path, and entered the jungle. Takora dekila matitrina achadita deki sabaloka haila anande vishmita. When they saw the deity covered with dirt and grass, they were all struck with wonder and pleasure. Avarana dura karila vidite Mahabhari Thakura Keanare chalaite. After they had cleansed the body of the deity, some of them said, "This deity is very heavy. No single person can move him. Mahabhalishta loka ekachakariya parvata uparigela puri takolaya." Since the deity was very heavy, some of the stronger men assembled to carry him to the top of the hill. Madhavendra Puri also went there. Paterera singhasani takura vashaila bhara eka patara prishte avalambadila. A big stone was made into a throne, and the deity was installed upon it. Another big stone was placed behind the deity for support. And now we kind of understand that a little bit because of the way that deity is showing. Gramera Brahmana Shaba Nava Gattalai Govinda Kundera Jala Anila Chaniya. All the Brahmin priests of the village gathered together with 9 water pots, and water from Govinda Kund was brought there and filtered. Very nice. Filtered water for the Lord's bath. Nava Shatagata Jala Kaila Upanita Nana Vajja Bhari Bhaje Stri Gana Gaya Gita. When the deity was being installed, 900 pots of water were brought from Govinda Kund. There were musical sounds of bugles and drums and the singing of women. And that reminds me of when I went to Ganga Sagar, the Ganga Sagar Mela with Srila Acharya Maharaj, and he was installing the deities there. And part of the process is we all left the temple, and there were hundreds of people, hundreds of Indian men and ladies, and they all had pots, and we all took ourselves off to the Ganga and filled the pots with water and all came back with them on our heads. Hundreds and hundreds of pots it was a really sweet experience, going to get water to bathe the deity. Just simple and beautiful. Simple, just going to get water from the Ganga. Nothing, complicated. And so beautiful. So they're coming from Sri Govinda Kund to the top of, so they're carrying it up the hill, and the women are singing, accompanied by bugles. Must be some Indian, what's the word? Beri bugles and drums. And we are familiar with mridangas, but we know in India there's many drums, not just mridangas, those big ones with the curved stick. A tumultuous, joyful sound. Kaya gai, kaya nache, mahotsava aila, dadi, dugda, grita aila, grame jata chila. During the festival at the installation ceremony, some people sang and some danced. All the milk, yogurt, and clarified butter in the village were brought to the festival. Bhoga samagri aila sandeshadi jata. Nana upahara ta kaite parikata. Various foods and sweetmeats, as well as all other kinds of presentations, were brought there. I am unable to describe all these. And the sweetmeats is sandesh, sandesha adi, all kinds of sandesh, sweet things. Tulasi adi, pushpa, vastra aila aneka, vastra garments. Tulsi adi, pushpa, vastra aila aneka, apane madhava puri, kaila, abhisheka. So the villagers brought a large quantity of tulsi leaves, flowers, various kinds of garments. Then Sri Madhavendra Puri personally began the Abhishek bathing ceremony. And here's the word we just sang in Sri Hari Vasare. Amangala Durakari Karaila Snan Bahutaila Diakaila Shriyanga Chikan. So all the Amangala, after all inauspicious things were driven away by the chanting of the mantra, the deity's bathing ceremony started. First, the deity was massaged with a large quantity of oil so that his body became very glossy, chikana, glossy. Panchagavya Panchamrite Snana Karan Mahasnana Karaila Shatagata Din. After the first bathing, further bathings were conducted with Panchagavya and then Panchamrita. Then the Mahasnan was performed with ghee and water, which had been brought in 100 pots. And Srila Prabhupada just reminds us that the ingredients of Panchagavya are milk, yogurt, ghee, cow urine, and cow dung. All these items come from the cow. Therefore, we can just imagine how important the cow is, since its urine and stool are required for bathing the deity. The Panchamrita consists of 5 kinds of nectar: yogurt, milk, ghee, honey, and sugar. The main portion of this preparation also comes from the cow. To make it more palatable, sugar and honey are added in his bath. Hare Krishna. Punataila Diakaila Shriyanga Chikana. Chikana again is glossy. Here it's rendered as shiny. Shanka Gandhadake Kaila Snana Samadhan. After the Maha Snan was finished, the deity was again massaged with scented oil and his body made glossy. Then the last bathing ceremony was performed with scented water kept within a conch shell. And then there's more. I'm going to read it because it's so nice. In his commentary on this occasion, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur quotes from the Hari Bhakti Vilas. Barley powder, wheat powder, vermilion powder, urad dal powder, and another powder preparation called abata, made by mixing banana powder and ground rice, are applied to the deity's body with a brush made from the hair at the end of a cow's tail. This produces a nice finish. The oil smeared all over the body of the deity should be scented. To perform the Mahasnan, at least 2.5 manas, about 24 gallons of water, are needed to pour over the body of the deity. Shri Anga Majna Kari Vastra Paraila Chandana Tulasi Pushpamala Angedila. After the body of the deity was cleansed, he was dressed very nicely with new garments. Then sandalwood pulp, tulsi garlands, and other fragrant flower garlands were placed upon the body of the deity. Dupa Deepa Karinana Bogala Gaila Dhadi Dugda Sandeshadi Jata Kichu Aila. After the bathing ceremony was finished, incense and lamps were burned and all kinds of food offered before the deity. These foods included yogurt, milk, and as many sweetmeats as were received. So all the sweets come in. Suvasita Jala Navapatri Samapila Achamana Diyase Tambula Nivedila. The deity was first offered many varieties of food, then scented drinking pots, drinking water in new pots, and then water for washing the mouth. Finally, pan mixed with a variety of spices was offered. Arachika Karikaila Bahuta Stavana Dandavata Karikaila Atma Samapana. After the last offering of tambul and pan, Boga Arachika was performed. Finally, everyone offered various prayers and then obeisances, falling flat before the deity in full surrender. Gramera Jateka Tandula Dhali Goduma Chuna Shakala Aniadila Parvata Haila Purna. As soon as the people of the village had understood that the deity was going to be installed, they had brought their entire stocks of dal, rice, and wheat flour. They brought such large quantities that the entire surface of the top of the hill was filled. They just brought it all. Kumbhakara Garichila Ye Mrit Bhajana Saba Anaila Prate Charila Randhana. So the Kumbhakara are the makers of the kumbhas. And kumbha, like the Kumbha Mela, pot. When the villagers brought their stock of rice, dal, and flour, the potters of the village brought all the cooking pots, all kinds of cooking pots. And in the morning, the cooking began. Dasa Vipra Anarandi Kare Ekastupa, big stupa. Jana Pancha Rande Vyanjanadi Nana Supa. 10 Brahmins cooked the food grains, and 5 Brahmins cooked both dry and liquid vegetables. Vanya Shak Phala Mule Vivida Vyanjan Kaya Bharabhari Kare Vipragan. The vegetable preparations were made from various kinds of spinach, roots, and fruits collected from the forest. And someone made bhara and bhari by mashing dal. In this way, the Brahmins prepared all kinds of food. Jana Panchasata Ruti Kare Rasi Rasi. Ana Vyanjana Sabarahi Grita Bashi. 5 to 7 men prepared a huge quantity of chapatis, kijai, which were completely covered with ghee, as were all the vegetables, rice and dal. I mean, we're amongst the cow, we're in Govardhan. There's no shortage of these things. And a huge quantity of chapatis. Navavastrapati tai paleshera pata. Randi tara upara rasi kaila bhata. All the cooked rice was stacked on palasha leaves. Oh, we've heard about palasha plants, haven't we? Which were on new cloths spread over the ground. So its flower may have no scent, the palasha flower, but its leaves are obviously very are utilized for service, for stacking the rice. Tara Pasha Roti Rasera Parvata Haila Supa Adi Vyanjana Bhanda Chaudika Darila. Around the stack of cooked rice were stacks of chapatis, and all the vegetables and liquid vegetable preparation were placed in different pots and put around them. Tara Pasha Dadi Dugda Mata Shikarini Payashamatani Shada Pashe Dareani. Pots of yogurt, milk, buttermilk, shikarini. You know what that is?
How do you spell it?
Sh with a h, Ikharini. Shikarini. Shikarini. Anyway, yogurt, milk, buttermilk, shikarini.
Maybe something to do with Shrikant.
Ah, yeah, but it's not Shri. It's, anyway, could be because words change. Yes. Sweet rice, cream, and solid cream were placed alongside the vegetables. And Srila Prabhupada says, in this kind of ceremony, which is called anukut, cooked rice is stacked like a small mountain for prasadam distribution. And we've seen those mountains in India in the festivals at Sri Chaitanya SCSMath. And we also saw a swimming pool. Well, not a swimming pool, but a swimming pool sized, full of khichdi. I mean, it's a swimming pool full of khichdi. You come with your bucket and you fill it up.
Sorry, I checked. It's Shrikant.
Shrikant. It's Shrikant.
That's a traditional olden Vedic.
Ah, beautiful. Thank you. So Shrikant was there amongst all those wonderful, wonderful things. Henamata anakuta kalila sajan purigosai gopalera kaila samapan. In this way, the anukut ceremony was performed, and Madhavendra Puri Goswami personally offered everything to Gopal. Anakagata bhari dila suvasita jal bahudinena kshudhaya gopala kaila sakala. Many water pots were filled with scented water for drinking, and Lord Sri Gopal, who had been hungry for many days, ate everything offered to him. Jajapi Gopal Saba Anavyanjana Kaila Tada Hasta Spasha Puna Temana Haila. Although Sri Gopal ate everything offered, still, by the touch of his transcendental hand, everything remained as before. Srila Prabhupada says, the atheists cannot understand how the Supreme Personality of Godhead, appearing in the form of the deity, can eat all the food offered by his devotees. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Patram pushpam phalam toyam yome bhaktya prayachati tadaham bhakti upaditam ashnami prayatatmanaha. If one offers me with love and affection a leaf, a flower, a fruit, or water, I will accept it. The Lord is Purna, complete, and therefore he eats everything offered by his devotees. However, by the touch of his transcendental hand, all the food remains exactly as before. It is the quality that is changed. Before the food was offered, it was something else. But after it is offered, the food acquires a transcendental quality. How beautiful. It's quite a long purport actually, but we'll carry on. Iya anubhava kaila madhava gosai tara tani gopalera lukana kichunai. How Gopal ate everything while the food remained the same was transcendentally perceived by Madhavendra Puri Goswami. Nothing remains a secret to the devotees of the Lord. Gopalera Lukana Kichu Nai. Eka dinera ujoge achi mahatsava kaila Gopala prabhavahai anye na janila. The wonderful festival and installation of Sri Gopalji was arranged in one day. in one day. He came. It's time. We need a festival. Hare Krishna. Certainly all this was accomplished by the potency of Gopal. No one but a devotee can understand this. There's many layers of that because the devotees know how much effort it takes to organize a festival. And they know that the Lord has to help them to do that. Hare Krishna, wonderful. Achamana dia dila viraka sanchai arati karila loke kare jaya jai. Madhavendra Puri offered water to Gopal for washing his mouth, and he gave him betel nuts to chew. Then, while Arti was performed, all the people chanted Jai, Jai, or probably Jai, Jai. Shaya Karila Nutana Kata Anaya Navavascha Anitara Upada Patiya. Arranging for the Lord's rest, Sri Madhavendra Puri brought a new cot, and over this he spread a new bedspread, and thus made the bed ready. Trina Tati Dia Chari Dika Avarila Uparete Eka Tati Dia Achadila. A temporary temple was constructed by covering the bed all around with a straw mattress. Thus there was a bed and a straw mattress to cover it. Puri Gosai Agyadila Shakala Brahmani Abhala Vridagramera Loka Karaha Bhojane. After the Lord was laid down to rest on the bed, Madhavendra Puri gathered all the Brahmins who had prepared the prasadam and said to them, "Now feed everyone sumptuously, from the children on up to the aged." Everyone. Sabhavasi krame krame bhojana karila brahmani gane age kayaila were fed. All the people gathered and there sat down to honor the prasadam, and by they took their food. All the brahmanas and their wives were fed first. Actually, brahmani gane is how it's given in. Anyway, Brahmins and their wives were fed. Anya gramera lokajati dekite aila gopala dekia saba prashada kaila. Those who took prasadam included not only the people of Govardhan village, but also those who came from other villages. They also saw the deity of Gopal and were offered prasadam to eat. And we know that too, that when the big festivals happen in the mart, people come a long way to celebrate the festival and take prasadam, a long way. And sometimes they will come in twice. How they do that, I don't know. 2 or 3 times. They'll come in the first wave, will let through the door or let into the gate and arranged in rows, and other people waiting until there's space to come in. Then they'll go out and maybe they will come again to their full satisfaction. Dekya Purira Prabhava Loke. What were the Loke? They were Chamatkara. Purva Anukuta Jena Haila Shakshatkara. Seeing the influence of Madhavendra Puri, all the people gathered there were chamatkar, struck with wonder in this case. They saw that the Anukut ceremony, which had been performed before during the time of Krishna, was now taking place again by the mercy of Sri Madhavendra Puri. And then Srila Prabhupada does give us a little review, remembering Govardhan, the Govardhan, the Dari pastime of Krishna lifting Govardhan hill and the Anukut that was held then. Anyway, what else happened? Shakala Brahmana Puri Vaishnava Karila Say Seva Madhye Sabha Niyojila. All the Brahmins present on that occasion were initiated by Madhavendra Puri into the Vaishnav cult. Actually, it says Vaishnava Karila. They were elevated to the position of Vaishnavas. And Madhavendra Puri engaged them in different types of service. So they've all been raised up to Vaishnavas, all the Brahmins. And more equally important, engaged in service by the mercy of Madhavendra Puri. Punadina Shesha Prabhuda Karaila Utan Kichu Bhoga Lagaila Karaila Jalapan. After taking rest, the deity must be awakened at the end of the day, and immediately some food and some water must be offered to him. Gopala Prakata Haila Deshe Shabda Haila Asha Pasha Gramera Loka Dekita Haila. When it was advertised throughout the country that Lord Gopal had appeared atop Govardhan Hill, all the people from neighboring villages came to see the deity. Ekeka Dina Ekeka Grame Laila Magina Anukuta Kari Sabe Harasitaya. One village after another was pleased to beg Madhavendra Puri to allot them one day to perform the Anukut ceremony. All the other villages are feeling left out. Now they want to do their offering. So they were pleased to beg Madhavendra Puri to allot them one day to perform the Anukut ceremony. Thus, day after day, the Anukut ceremony was performed for some time. Rachikali Takurera Karaye Shayan Puri Goshai Kailo Kichu Gavya Bojan. Sri Madhavendra Puri did not eat anything throughout the day, but at night, after laying the deity down to rest, he took a milk preparation. Gavya. What's Gavya we just heard in our...
That's Panchagavya.
Yeah. Oh, so yeah, the catch-all term, yeah. So that's why I guess it says he took a milk preparation, maybe buttermilk or something like that. Pratakale punataicha karila sevana analaya ekagramera aila lokagana. The next morning, the rendering of service to the deity began again. And people from one village arrived with all kinds of food grains. Anna grita dadi dugda grame jata chila gopalera agaloka anya darila. The inhabitants of the village brought to the deity of Gopal as much food, grains, ghee, yogurt, and milk as they had in their village.
And you see, like that mood. They're bringing everything they've got in the village to the deity, and when the deity goes to Nazareth, you still see that they're carrying on with that same mood of everything.
Yes, Joy. Beautiful. Purvadina Pravya Vipra Karila Randan Taiche Anukuta Gopala Karila Bojan. The next day, almost as before, there was an Anukut ceremony. All the Brahmins prepared foods, and Gopal accepted them. Brajabasi Lokera Krishna Sahaja Piriti. Gopalera Sahaja Priti Raja Basi Prati. The ideal place to execute Krishna consciousness is Brajabhumi or Vrindavan, where the people are naturally inclined to love Krishna, and Krishna is naturally inclined to love them. So this is actually the meaning of Sahaja. Its original meaning is natural and easy and sweet and beautiful, not the Prakrita Sahaja that we hear about. It's actually a beautiful word. Mahaprasada Kaila Ashia Sabaloka Gopala Dakia Sabara Kande Dukha Shoka. Throngs of people came from the different villages to see the deity of Gopal, and they took Mahaprasadam sumptuously. When they saw the super excellent form of Lord Gopal, all their lamentation and unhappiness disappeared. Asha Pasha Braja Bhumera Jata Grama Saba Eka Eka Dina Sabe Kare Mohotsava. All the villages in neighboring Brajabhumi, Vrindavan, became aware of the appearance of Gopal. And all the people from these villages came to see him day after day. They all performed the Anakut ceremony. This is really a Maha Mohotsava. Gopala Prakata Shuni Nana Deshe Hoita. Nana Dravya Lana Loka Lagila Asita. In this way, not only the neighboring villages, but all the other provinces came to know of Gopal's appearance. Thus people came from all over, bringing a variety of presentations. Maturara Lokashava Bhara Bharadani Bhaktakari Nana Dravya Bhekta Dayani. The people of Mathura, who are very big capitalists, also brought various presentations and offered them before the deity in devotional service. Well, the word is dani, which I think is more giving, right? We sing to Tulsi Devi, Baka, what is it? Bakati Dana DJ Amara. Anyway, I'm confused now. Anyway, they brought all their things from Mathura. Thus, Svana, Raupya, Vastra, Gandha, Bhaksha, Upahara, Ashankya, Aisha, Nitya, Bharila, Bandhara. Thus, countless presentations of gold, silver, garments, scented articles, and eatables arrived. The store of Gopal increased daily. Eka Mahadani Kshatriya Karaila Mandira Kaya Paka Bandara Kaila Kayata Prachira. One very rich Kshatriya of the royal order constructed a temple. Someone made cooking utensils, and someone constructed boundary walls. So it's just going on and on. Eka Brajavasi Eka Gabi Dila Sahasra Gabi Gopalera Haila. Each and every family residing in the land of Brajbhumi contributed one cow. In this way, thousands of cows became the property of Gopal. We're in Vrindavan, there's cows everywhere. I'm giving a cow. Srila Prabhupada says, this is the way to install the deity, construct a temple, and increase the property of the temple. Gaura Haita Aila Dui Vairagi Brahmana Purigosara Kilatari Kariya Jatan. Eventually, two Brahmanas in the renounced order arrived from Bengal, and Madhavendra Puri, who liked them very much, kept them in Vrindavan and gave them all kinds of comforts. Say Dui Shishyakari Seva Samapila Raja Sevahaya Purira Ananda Bharila. These two were then initiated by Madhavendra Puri, and he entrusted them with the daily service of the Lord. This service was performed continuously, and the worship of the deity became very gorgeous. Thus Madhavendra Puri was very pleased. Okay, one more sloka. E matavatsara dui karila sevana, ekadina purigosai dekila swapana. In this way, the deity worship in the temple was very gorgeously performed for 2 years. So we've gone 2 years now. Then one day, Madhavendra Puri had a dream. Tune in tomorrow as we move along. And the dream of Madhavendra Puri is revealed, and the consequences of that dream will be explained by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Ki Jai and Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai, and all his wonderful devotees who worked so hard, served so hard to bring out the Chaitanya Charitamrita into the languages of the Western world. Ki Jai. Hare Krishna. Oh yes, Jai.
Hari Haraya Namaha Krishnaya Yadavaya Namaha.
Hari Haraya Namaha Krishnaya Yadavaya Namaha.
Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha.
Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha.
Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudana.
Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudana.
Giridhari Gopinath.
Giridhari Gopinath Mohan.
Shri Advaita Chanda.
Shri Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Chanda.
Gadadhara Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Gadadhara Shiva Sadi
Jai Sakarita Shishi Guru Gauranga Sundara Dhari Dhari Ki Jai Jai Shri Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Swami Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Shri Bhakti Rakshira Dev Swami Maharaj Ki Jai Shri Upanda Guru Bhag Ki Jai Shri Chaitanya Shashaman Acharya Vinda Ki Jai Tuti Devotee Ki Jai Gaura Premanande Hari Hari